weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television. We're also carried by a couple of our radio affiliates here right in Lancaster and Fairfield County. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. We got a great guest this week. We have Jeffrey Reed, a deputy with the Sheriff's Office. Been here, what, 8 years now?
Yes, sir.
Wow. And tell us a little bit about your family.
I'm married, have 3 children, 5, 3, and 1.
Wow.
We reside here in Lancaster.
That keeps you hopping, doesn't it?
Absolutely. 5, 3, and 1. They keep me going.
Boys, girls, or?
I've got 2 girls. They're my oldest, and then a boy.
Wow. Wow. And currently, you're the school resource officer in Canal Winchester.
Yes, sir.
Now, you're, if I remember correctly, I think we actually talked before the program, your dad is a deputy with Franklin County.
Yeah, he's a detective with Franklin County. Yes, sir.
So let me ask you, what was it like growing up in a law enforcement family?
It was great. It was honestly, it was fun. The camaraderie that I always saw my dad with his fellow deputies and things is kind of what made me strive, what pushed me toward this career.
Is that right? I bet he's proud of you, isn't he?
Yeah.
He likes that.
Yeah.
So what do you remember as a kid about your dad? I mean, what kind of, like, my son's a Columbus police officer, so you know, we have some kind of similarities there.
The stories, honestly, that's what I remember the most. Him coming home and saying, well, I had to put this guy in jail today, and he would go through and tell me why, all the details of it. Not all the details, obviously, because I was young, but he would tell me the details of it, and I fell in love with the stories and you know, the things that he did, and you know, the getting up and the putting the badge on, and you know, seeing him off to work, and when he came home, it was great, and he would have a story for me every time he'd come home, so phenomenal.
Any other law enforcement people in your family?
I did. I had a great-grandfather, didn't know him, but
okay.
I had a great-grandfather that also worked for Franklin County.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So just skipped a generation. Wonder if your kids will ever be involved.
Yeah, I hope. I hope they, whatever they're interested in.
Very good. Now, tell us a little bit about, you've been on 8 years. What has been some of your different assignments within the Sheriff's Office?
I started off in the jail. I did about 1.5 years in the jail, and then I left the jail and went to patrol, 3rd shift patrol, and then went to the relief shift in Canal Winchester, and that was that's working every shift up there. And did that for a few years, came back down to 2nd shift out of Wheeling Street,
okay,
and then ended up getting the school resource officer position.
And so you were in the jail, working in the road, and a lot of different assignments. Is there any type of call or something that kind of is memorable to you, something that stands out?
Well, prior to being with this sheriff's office, I worked for Crooksville Police Department.
Okay.
I graduated at PATA when I was 19 years old, and
that's pretty impressive too,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, it was a good time. Like I said, I'd lived in Crooksville at the time, so I ended up, we were having a warrant roundup in Crooksville, and we had about 5 Crooksville officers and 1 Perry County sheriff that was all kind of involved. The Perry County sheriff that was involved was also on duty, and he ended up getting a domestic violence call, and he didn't have any backup in the county at that time, so I hopped in the cruiser and went as his backup with him. When we got out to the call, it was a true domestic violence situation, and after he'd made the call to arrest both individual parties that were involved, we kind of searched through the house and stuff because we thought we were hearing something from other areas, and we found an 8-year-old girl hiding in her room. And I brought her out and I talked to her as he was finishing the situation up here, and she ended up drawing me a picture, and it said, "I with a blue heart, police officers." It said, "I love police officers." So I've kept that for all these years.
Oh my golly.
3 years later, I ended up receiving a letter from this woman that was actually forwarded to my home address in Crooksville, which obviously I don't reside at anymore. And it was forwarded from the police department to my home address and then to me because they knew where I was. So, and it was her, again, thanking me for saving her life because she'd been put into the care of a foster family. And she said that if she felt that had she remained with that family that she would be deceased by now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, that's powerful.
Absolutely.
That's a powerful story.
This is why we wake up every day.
Yeah, yeah. So for a number of years you worked in Canal Winchester, and for our viewers and listeners that may not know, we actually, because some of Canal Winchester is in Fairfield County, some of it is in Franklin, we contract with the village of Canal Winchester and do the entire village. What are some of the things that makes it a little bit different, working in a village like that as opposed to working in, like, out in one of the other sector cars in the county?
The big differences are just the dynamics, really. You know, in the county you have all the open land, and when you're in a city, you're in a city. And, you know, we work closely with the mayor and all his staff, and, you know, and with you, obviously, and all of us grouped together, you know, we work real closely with. You know, the area, the square mileage is obviously not near as big, so you feel like you're doing your rounds more, you know, every
Right.
5 minutes is what it feels like, as opposed to in the county, you could probably, you know, go through your entire area in your 8-hour shift. And, you know, the Canal Winchester area is great, and some of the big differences are basically like filing charges. We actually file our charges, if it occurs in Franklin County, we actually file our charges in Franklin County.
Okay.
So, you know, we deal with both courts up there because we have, you know, the Fairfield County side and we have Franklin County side, and it's not bad. It gives us a change of pace and gets us to know a lot more people and basically involved. I like it.
So it's probably a perfect fit when you went from working in the village of Canal Winchester over to the school resource officer at Canal Winchester, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Pretty seamless. And this has been the first year, right? We've
Yes.
had a school resource officer
First
there?
year for them. Excuse me. First year for them. First year for me.
Now, is there a lot of people that you knew in the village, Jeff, that you also knew through the schools?
Yes.
Is that a strong connect there?
Yeah. There was quite a few people that worked at the school, even some that were on the panel when we did our interviews for the position that said, "Oh, it's Jeff," because when you said Deputy Reed, they knew me by Jeff.
Yeah.
So they said Deputy Reed, and they're looking at their papers, and they're like, "Okay, Deputy Reed's next." And then I came in, they said, "Oh, it's Jeff." Okay, all right.
Yeah. So a number of people, or a number of deputies actually applied for that, and there was a selection process before you were selected?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And that involved the school and supervisors within the sheriff's office?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That's pretty cool. Sounds like you had a good first year.
I think it was great.
Biggest surprise?
Biggest surprise of the year. I would honestly say how much I enjoyed it. I was really nervous going into it because obviously it's a big change in pace from going to second shift patrol
Right.
into a school behind a desk. You
Right.
know, I was afraid that it was going to be, excuse me again, laid back and kind of not upbeat enough for me. But I mean, it was nice to get around to meet the kids. I mean, it was really surprising to me. And the biggest surprise probably is I have 5 students that have graduated, or I'm sorry, 4 that have graduated, 1 that has not yet, that are all interested in law enforcement, have came to me
Wow.
to inquire about it and actually asked to do ride-alongs with me. And, you know, because they said they're that in tune with it, and this is what they want to do as their career choice, and I just think that's phenomenal.
I do too. But going back to the village, I just something came to mind. What's probably the most common type of call that you would get in the village of Canal Winchester? Or can you break it down that way?
Well, yeah, I would venture to say, honestly, with Myers and Walmart and things, it's theft. Theft is our biggest probably issue, and probably secondly, if not tied with that, is the vandalisms or
Okay.
the criminal damagings.
Okay. So there's a lot of thefts in those stores.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Now, do they have a security group within the store too?
They do, and we work great with them. And, you know, they know when they catch one, they have everything ready for us. They call us, we come. It's seamless. You know, we do what we need to do. They do what they need to do. We get there, we take them, and we handle the situation.
Yeah, I'm often surprised that they say when you purchase something, it's a little bit more expensive because of all the thefts that price has to be upped a little bit to cover just the thefts in these stores.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. It was a number of years ago that Loretta and I were actually going into the mall, and I noticed like 3 ladies carrying these big sacks in and dumping the clothes in the back of their trunk and shutting the trunk and then going back into the stores.
Right.
And I told Loretta at that time, I said, this is a shoplifting ring of some sort. And so I called the Lancaster Police Department. They set up on the other side of the store, and I was on my phone, and so the next time they came out, and they did come out in a little bit of time with those big bags, Lancaster came in, and they had thousands and thousands of dollars, and they really weren't gone very long. It was kind of amazing to me that they went in, they filled their bags up, right back, dump another load in, several $1,000s worth of clothes.
That's that great second nature that we have as officers. Even when we're not working, we're working.
That's true. That's true. We're never off duty, are we?
No.
And so, okay, what are some of the responsibilities that you have as a school resource officer?
Very simple, really. You're there for obviously the safety and security of all the students, the staff, maintenance, everything. You want your building to be secure. That's what we're there for. Some of the other things that we do, obviously, is we build relationships with these kids. We try to be their mentors, you know what I mean, so that we can help them and guide them, preferably down that right path and try to steer them clear of that dark path.
Right.
And we're there as a guide also for, the administrators of the building, the principals, the assistant principals, the superintendent, the assistant superintendent. If they have legal questions, about criminal things, they can, contact me. They have their attorneys as well, but, I'm easily accessible as opposed to sometimes trying to get a hold of somebody else. So, if they have a situation, they will call me and they'll give me the situation and I'll ask them a few questions about it, and then we'll figure out what we need to do from there. And that's great. That's a really good part of it. The relationships with the students, of course, like I said, I would go into lunches and I would sit down with groups of kids. It was great at the beginning of the year. I sat down with this group of kids and they all froze. They didn't know what to do. This is the first week of school. They all froze. They sat there, and about 3 or 4 of them, probably out of about 6, got up and moved tables because they didn't know what to think.
They were uncomfortable, huh?
Right, yeah, they just didn't know what to think. They said, why is this officer sitting with me? I just don't understand. Yeah. So I did the respectable thing, and I got up and I moved to the table that they went. And I introduced myself, and we went from there.
That's hilarious. We're running out of time. What I'd like to do is have you back next week and talk a little bit about ALICE training. And ALICE is an acronym, and it is about a way to not only law enforcement in schools, but police agencies, how they respond to emergencies, whether it's a church, a school. And I know you're familiar with that and have been involved with that program, getting it into our community for the instructional part, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can come back next week?
Absolutely.
I do appreciate that. Well, we're just about out of time. Deputy Jeff Reed, school resource officer in Canal Winchester, does a great job. 8-year veteran of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Dad's a Franklin County Sheriff, so it's kind of in his blood, so to speak. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. And Kelly Roberts, our executive producer, the students here at the Fairfield Christian Academy, J.T. Bertram and the gang that put this program together each and every week. And I do appreciate you that join us. The clock on the wall says we're about out of time. If you're out there driving, buckle up. We'll see you here next week. God bless, and have a great week.
Hello, I'm Officer Chris Caton, and I'm the Director for the Lancaster Police Department Safety Town program. Safety Town is a 2-week summer safety program designed for children getting ready to enter kindergarten this fall. They are taught to make wise decisions in potentially dangerous situations, as well as how to handle emergencies. They also learn pedestrian safety by negotiating a miniature village on tricycles. This year's Safety Town program dates are June 16th through the 27th. We have a morning and an afternoon session. The morning session begins at 9 a.m. and runs to noon, and the afternoon session runs from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. There is a $20 registration fee, and the registration forms and the informational packets can be found in your child's kindergarten packet at your local elementary school. Or you can locate the registration form on the Lancaster Police Department website under the forms section. There is a registration deadline of June 6th, so hurry up and get your registration form in to ensure that you get the session of your choosing. This year's Safety Town program is going to be located again at Medill Elementary School, 1151 James Road. And if you have any further questions regarding Safety Town, please feel free to contact me at 740-687-6680, and my direct extension is 518. We look forward to seeing your future kindergartner this year at Safety Town.